Hi everyone. In today's session, we will see about calculus, the main branch of mathematics. So, what is calculus? So, have you ever wondered what calculus is about? Usually, whenever we teach as a mathematician, we teach mathematics to students, they will often have a question where I'm going to use this calculus in my real day life. So this is not the thing that you have to sit and solve a integration or differentiation equation. You have to sit and solve. Then only the application is there. It is not like that. In everywhere, calculus is surrounded by you in your daily day-to-day life. Calculus is a branch of mathematics that helps us understand changes between values that are related by a function. For example, if you had one formula telling how much money you got every day, calculus would help you understand related formulas like how much money you have in total and whether you are getting more money or less than you use it to. All these formulas are functions of time. So, that is one way to think of calculus, studying functions of time. So, calculus is the branch of mathematics that studies how things change and what the effects of changes are on a system. Calculus is derived from the Latin word calculus, which means a small pebble used for counting. Calculus has two main branches, differential calculus and integral calculus. Differential calculus studies how things change when considering the whole to be made up of small quantities. In other words, differential calculus deals with all the small components or parts that make up the whole system. So, integral calculus is just the complementary to differential calculus. It studies the whole system as an accumulation of small quantities or components. In simple terms, differential calculus breaks things up into smaller quantities to determine how small changes affects the whole. The integral calculus puts together small quantities to determine how the whole is formed from the small quantities and is affected by the small change. So mathematicians use calculus to find information about changes to a system or whole, in addition to many other uses. These findings are useful in all sorts of different areas. That means calculus has many applications in real life. The beauty of calculus is not only contained within mathematics. Calculus is also used to describe the dynamic nature of our world. Calculus is the language of motion and change. If a quantity or system is changing, we can use the mathematical modeling of calculus to help us analyze, optimize, and predict different parameters of the system. Calculus originally meant mathematics. So it is derived from the Latin word calx, which means counter. The ancient Babylonians, they used pebbles to represent units, tens, hundreds, etc. on a primitive abacus, later defined as measuring varying rates of change. This is the origin of calculus. Calculus defined as the mathematical study of change, which was developed independently by Isaac Newton and Leibniz in the 17th century. Engineering is defined as the profession in which a knowledge of the mathematical and natural sciences gained by study, experience, and practice is applied with judgment to develop ways to utilize economically the materials and forces of nature for the benefit of mankind. Some engineers directly use calculus in their daily practice, and some use computer programs based on calculus that simplify engineering design. Two methods of calculus, differentiation and integration, are particularly useful in the practice of engineering and are generally used for optimization and summation respectively. So, British scientist Sir Isaac Newton invented this new field, calculus, which is a Latin word which, very first, it was meant as stone. Romans used stones for counting. For the counting of infinitely smaller numbers, mathematics began using the same term, and the name has stuck. Though it was proved that some basic ideas of calculus were known to our Indian mathematicians, Newton and Leibniz initiated a new era of mathematics. There are a large number of applications of calculus in our daily life. It can't be possibly illustrated in a single view. So, calculus is the study of rate of change. Calculus, as we know it today, was developed in the later half of the 17th century by the two mathematicians, Leibniz and Isaac Newton. Thank you.